no, 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 no. I, yes, I did say I would use that song for an intro, but I was just kidding. I can't play that song on YouTube. Why? First of all, copyright infringement, and the lyrics of that song will probably get me kicked off YouTube. Sorry. Sorry, folks. Production team. Okay, let's work on another song. Until then, let's let her rip. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to this week's episode of Wrestling Gold Friday Night. Yeah, we made it to another Friday. Thank goodness. Uh, Not too bad of a week. Got to come home a little early. Of course, if you watched Spot Show live stream last night, you know I got to come home yesterday. So, uh, but glad to be home, and actually gonna be home all next week. So, well, not on vacation. I'll be working in in town, which means anything within a 2 hour radius. So salute. Today's Friday, so cheers to all the men and women who made it to Friday, working men and women. For those of you who got to work the weekend, we toast to you too. So cheers. And yes, I am mighty thirsty this evening. Even though it's cold up when I was in South Georgia, it was had a little chilly mornings, but by 10 o'clock it was feeling about right. Um, but man, I got up here, it's like what 37 degrees? What the hell is that in the morning? Uh, but other than that, I had a thankfully I had something to keep me warm first thing in the morning. But other than that, yes, welcome to Wrestling Gold Friday Night, where we talk about the good old days of professional wrestling. So please feel free to join us live. We got the chat up, of course. So if you want to reminisce about something I talk about this evening, put it in there. If you got a question about anything I talk about this evening, uh, throw that one up there too. Or if you just want to be friendly and say hello, and I will say hello right back, just like Joe King here. Joe King, what's up? What's up, Joe King? So yeah, just that simple. Also, if you make it through the whole program and you totally dig it, click that thumbs up button. It lets me know and everybody know you like it. Uh, also, if you're not a subscriber yet, be a champ and click on that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Also, hit that notification bell so you how they word it, so you'll be notified of all my content that is available to watch. So, cheers to all my subscribers. Cheers to all of my future subscribers. Yeah, I don't know why I'm thirsty. I guess just running around kind of busy. But this is Wrestling Gold Friday Night, and usually start off with this day in wrestling history. Of course, today is October 18th, and I'll go through all the just not everything, but a few little tidbits of what happened on this date in the world of professional wrestling. And of course, after that, we shoot the shit, of course, a little bit during the course of this. Excuse me. And we have a watch along. If you caught my comment on social media, guess what? We're taking Wrestling Gold Friday Night to the extreme. Yeah, because I was thinking about thinking about it all week. I've done Southeastern Continental a few times. Uh, Southern Championship Wrestling for Georgia. I think we did Deep South for Georgia. I'm not sure. We did the Black Saturday. Um, also a WWF program. Mid South UWF a couple times, I think. Even Smoky Mountain, but never done ECW. So uh, kind of a controversial promotion, but at the time. But we will definitely get to that later on. But first, let's crank it out. Let's talk about today in wrestling history. On this date in 1976, at the Memphis Mid South Coliseum, drawing 6,418 people. We had Bearcat Brown defeated Buster Johnson, Tojo Yamamoto, and Don Anderson defeated Roger Kirby and Tommy Gilbert. Tommy Rich defeated Gorgeous George Jr. By DQ. Southern Tag Team Champions Dennis Condrey and Phil Hickerson defeated Frankie Lane and Bill Dundee in a title versus loser of the fall leaves town. It didn't tell me who lost the fall though. I got a feeling it must have been Frankie Lane. Then NWA World Champion. Of course, at this time, this was a NWA territory. Terry Funk defeated uh, Jerry Lawler via reverse decision. So I guess it's one of those dusty finish. Well, not really dusty finish. I guess everybody thought Jerry Lawler won, then referee reverse decision right there. They didn't wait until it got on TV. Hi, Karen Poole. Uh, yeah, finish my beer. I don't match your hand, and I actually got Coca Cola. Didn't have no cold water or Gatorade this evening, so going with Coca Cola. But thank you for tuning in, though. By the way, on this day in 1978, uh, Abdullah the Butcher defeated Billy Robinson in Japan for the All Japan PWF World Championship. Joe King, Brenda's not home yet. Uh, well, you know, is she with the grandbabies? Anyway, uh, yes, Abdullah Butcher defeated Billy Robinson. Billy Robinson, I think I've mentioned this before. Go back, go on YouTube after this program, of course, and type in Nip Winkle and oh gosh, what's his name? Son of a beast. Uh, what's the for y'all? Ray Stevens. Yes. There's a match between Nip Winkle and Ray Stevens. Sorry, had a had a little brain fart. Um, but yeah, Google Nick Bonwinkle, Ray Stevens versus Billy Robinson. I believe his partner was Tony or Brian Garner. Probably one of those. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Despite the fashion at the time, that match definitely holds up today. Probably a lot better than most matches. Definitely a good match. Check it out. Check out anything from Ray Stevens. I mean, you talking about Flair, Shawn Michaels doing the turnbuckle bump. I'm not sure if Ray Stevens was the first one, but he definitely definitely perfected. All right. On this date in 1980, a young whippersnapper named Barry Windham and Scott McGee won a tournament to win the Florida Tag Team titles in St. Petersburg, Florida. They defeated the Assassins. Let's see, this been 1980. I don't think it was Jody Hamilton and Tony Ernesto. Uh, it was definitely Jody Hamilton and somebody. So anybody in the chat, anybody who watches on replay, I forgot to mention that part. If you watch this on replay, yes, feel free to comment, like, and all that good stuff. And if you're in the comments or in the chat, let me know who was the second assassin in 1980. I don't think it's Tom Ernesto. I think Tom Ernesto was done retired. And he might have been Memphis. I think he came to Memphis 83 or 84, 85 as a like a heel type matchmaker. Uh, but he was definitely there in Memphis for a while. Uh, so yes, if you know who it is, let me know. I totally did. It's a history stuff. Also on this day in 1980, the first ever Southeastern Wrestling or Southeastern Championship wrestling program covering all of Alabama airs on this date. Remember, Southeastern also Ron Fuller also had the Southeastern in Knoxville, and well, actually, I think the Knoxville War was pretty much done this time. But anyway, he took over the Gulf Coast Wrestling promotion, uh, and prior to that, in Knoxville, but now Fuller was promotional rights over Smoky Mountain. Smoky Mountains to the Gulf Coast region launches a newly revamped show. The host was Charlie Pratt. Bob Armstrong was featured. He had a match and did a promo. He actually defeated a guy named Ray Harris, who was in the hood, also a superstar. They had Charlie Jones music video, Bob Armstrong promo. Eddie Mansfield. I don't know if anybody remembers that name. Eddie Mansfield, of course, he is more famous on that 2020 episode that exposed the wrestling business. He's the one that played it, but he wasn't the one that got slapped by Dr. D. David Schultz. Maybe he should have. Excuse me. Um, so yeah, he was featured. He featured a guy named uh, Reggie Simpson. Montgomery Crawford was there. Uh, Charlie Cook and Ricky Gibson defeated a team called Big C 1 and 2, which was Don Carson and Dennis Condrey. Um, Non-title match. And of course, you had your usual promo from Charlie Cook, Fuller, Mansfield, and a bunch of others. So, and of course, this was the Southeastern Territory in Alabama. Basically, I think they call this the Pensacola Territory. If you ever watch interviews, when they talk about the Pensacola Territory, the Southeastern Championship Wrestling, they talk about ran by Ron and Robert Fuller. Bob Armstrong booked for a while. Um, Again, I will reiterate, I mentioned last week, if you want to listen to a pretty cool podcast, the Ron Fuller Studcast is pretty cool, especially a lot of history in his family and the Southeastern promotions he ran. Um, Ron Fuller is the original Tennessee Stud before Robert Fuller took over his third leg. Also, one more thing on this date in 1980, the WWF returned to War Memorial in Rochester, New Jersey. The first wrestling card in Rochester in 5 years. Uh, Angel Gomez fought Steve King to a draw. Angel Morvilla defeated Johnny Ross via countout. The Hangman, mask guy, pinned Quick Rick McGraw. Tony Gurria defeated Larry Zbyszko by disqualification. Sergeant Slaughter pinned Dominic DiNucci. Dominic DiNucci, of course, famous for training. A couple guys I think we might be seeing tonight. Cactus Shack, Mick Foley, and Shane Douglas. And Pedro Morales defeated WWF Intercontinental Champion Ken Patera via countout. Oops. Unless I clicked it one too deep. Sorry about that. But this is the next thing here. In 1981, in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Omni, Michael Hayes defeated Terry Gordon in a baby bottle match. Of course, this is when Freebirds broke up. Terry and Terry Gordy and Michael Hayes were based on a feud. Terry Gordy mainly teamed with Jimmy Snuka. Of course, Michael Hayes brought a lot of partners, but this was the baby bottle match that was in the Omni in 1981. Also on that card, B. Brian. That's just Brian Blair at the time defeated Brian St. John or battled Brian St. John to a draw. Steve O defeated Jim Duggan. Of course, Jim Duggan. I think at the time it was just called Big Jim Duggan, just before he really got the push in Mid South. Mr. Wrestling 2 defeated Mike Sharp. Cowboy Lane defeated Little Tokyo. Great Kabuki defeated George Wells. Michael Hayes defeated Terry Gordy. Tommy Rich and Dick Slater defeated Ray Stevens and Tor Kamada. Ric Flair defeated Dusty Rhodes to retain the NWA World Championship. So this was 1981. I think this was Ric Flair's first reign. This was a rematch for Dusty Rhodes to try and reclaim it, but as you see, he didn't reclaim it. So, all right. On this date in 1982, Jack Briscoe regains the NWA Mid-Atlantic title from number one Paul Jones. Of course, Paul Jones, we've seen him as a manager last week, managing Rick Rude and Manny Fernandez. Yes, Paul Jones was once a accomplished wrestler in the Mid-Atlantic region. He wrestled some in Florida as well. So I need to open up the Coke a little bit. Beers out, of course. Anyway, Paul Jones was a long-time wrestler for the Mid-Atlantic region. I think, like I said, Florida, I do know of. Because everybody wrestled in Florida at one time. Maybe Texas too. I don't remember. So, uh, yeah. So, Cat Briscoe defeated him for that. On this date in 1997, speaking of ECW, ECW had a show in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the famous ECW Arena, drawing 1,600 people. ECW World Champion Bam Bam Bigelow and Mikey Whipwreck, Paul Diamond and Spike Dudley, Precious Mothers and Little Guigo, the full-blooded Italians, managed by the Big Don Tommy Rich, defeated the Kingston Natives, New Jack and John Coronas to win the ECW Tag Team titles. Balls Mahoney and Axel Ron defeated the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley. Great Sasaki defeated Al Snow. ECW Champion Taz defeated Rob Van Dam, or actually battled Rob Van Dam to a no contest. Chris Candido and Lance Storm defeated Doug Burns and Philip Vaughn. Sabu beat Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas in a three-way dance. Of course, the three-way dance was a event. Jim Cornette, I think, said he kind of did it and Smoky Mountain first, but ECW got more famous for it for the three-way dance they have between Shane Douglas, Terry Funk, and Sabu. But if you know of any three-way dances or three-way matches before that, said let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. Yeah, we want definitely want to talk a lot about ECW. let's see. Also on this date in 1998, the WWF presented Judgment Day from the uh, in Rosemont, Illinois, at the Horizon, drawing 18,153. I do remember this pay. I don't know where I watched it at. It might have been my place at the time. At the barn. Uh, maybe tell that story later. But uh, but yeah, I do remember watching this pay per view. Sure, yeah, because I remember a lot of these. I don't remember the exact finishes, but I do remember these matches and kind of like when I was going through pictures, going through kind of like the highlights and stuff. Wish I knew how to, which I think I'm gradually learning how to do, but I need to learn how to do a little more. Um, well, basically enough to know where I won't get copyright. So yeah, if you've seen this week's my new intro for uh, Wrestling Gold Friday night, that's kind of a test run too. See how much I can get away with. But uh, kayfabe YouTube. Anyway, I do remember this being kind of this is when they I think WWF and WWE and the WCW were kind of doing the monthly pay per views. Joking, they all say they started a three-way match. Yeah. Um, but that's I think in a lot of people's eyes, the three-way dance that of course a lot of I think I don't have the I do remember having the VHS copy of that. Gosh, I wish I still had it. But the one with Sabu, Shane Douglas, and Terry Funk, I think that's the most famous one that kind of broke the mold, I guess. Kind of started it all, and everybody started doing them. Then they came to Fatal Four Ways and stuff like that. One of the, then they kind of like during that time they kind of did that way. It seemed like every pay per view, sometimes every Raw or every Nitro, Thunder, whatever, they would throw that shit on it. Joking. I was watching one of the old DVD sets and seeing a multi-team match back. Okay, so but definitely in the '90s after the three-way dance event with Shane Douglas, Terry Funk, and Sabu, they just everybody started. And that one was pretty good. Uh, but I can honestly say after that one, wasn't the biggest fan of them, and I think they do have their purpose. Like if you're doing like a tournament or say a wrestler got injured, you gotta have a tournament to fill that championship. So yeah, say a couple multi-team matches. The winner of those face each other. Say you've got four multi-team matches. Two, the winner from one and two, uh, and well, the one and two will face each other. The three and four will face each other, and the winner of that goes in the finals. It's kind of a quick way to do a tournament. So I see. I would definitely do that if I was like a booker or something like that, or was starting a promotion and I need like quickly fill up. I got championship. I got to put some belts on these people to make things interesting. But or quickly instead of doing this, oh, a big tournament for this, a big tournament for that, a big tournament for this belt. Um, so I was actually thinking about that. Sorry, I'm rambling. No, uh, uh, like I was saying, like thinking at one time, it's like, okay, if I start a promotion, okay, maybe a ladder. I would have definitely a top champion, heavyweight champion, maybe a TV champion or something like that, and a tag team champion. Uh, if I got a big enough women's roster, uh, maybe a women's champion, something like that, or because I'm thinking mostly like an indie promotion here in Georgia to be one of those that hey, maybe we should like get together and crown a women's champion, and the women's champion kind of goes around to the different indie promotions around Georgia and defend it. I think I always thought that'd be kind of cool, or a Georgia champion, kind of like that. But I digress. But yeah, if I think I started one, I would one of them would definitely be a ladder match. Maybe one of them be a full scale tournament, and the other one would be uh, different 3-way dances or 4-way dances or fatal 4-ways to get to the finals and kind of get done quickly, not just prolong it. Uh, but that's just me digressing and rambling about things that kind of pop in my head. But anyway, yes, Judgment Day was on this day. Had a couple of dark matches. Steve Blackman defeated Justin Brashaw, which is JBL, Giant Silva, and Kurgan with Golga, who was John Tenta, defeated Jose Estrada, Miguel Perez, and Jesus Castillo. Um, yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I remember that one. That one was like okay. That wasn't the Sidewalk Slam Fest at the Truth Commission had at SummerSlam, but it was equally as bad. I do remember that one. Baruch defeated, or actually, the Godfather defeated Baruch. Tuco Scorpio defeated Jeff Jarrett. Al Snow defeated Marvelous Mark Miro. Of course, he was kind of doing the Xboxer gimmick at the time, calling himself Marvelous Mark Miro, had the boxing shorts and everything, and dumped Sable for Jacqueline, who recently got a Legends contract. Kudos to her. They did do a shot of her at the State Farm Arena for Bad Blood. Um, I was a fan of Jacqueline. That was a ever since she was like Miss Texas, I was kind of a fan of her. So, uh, but anyway, LOD 2000. Of course, I was Animal and a Hawk with hair and change of makeup, and for a short time, Sonny as their manager. Teamed up with Darren Falstoff to beat the DOA, Skull, 8 Ball, Ron and Don Harris. Or, yeah, Ron and Don Harris with Paul Ellering. Of course, Brian Lee was a member of that group too, along with Crush. Uh, at this time in WWF, they had a lot of, I guess, different. Because you had DX, you had uh, DOA, which was Crush, Brian Lee, Ron and Don Harris. Had a Los Boricuas, which was Jose Estrada, Miguel Perez, Jesus Castillo, and Savio Vega. You had a Kaya Tai with Michinoku. Can't remember the rest of them. Fill me on the rest of that if you want to. But yeah, you had like a lot of groups. The Nation, of course. Then that broke off into the, what do they call it? Whatever the Vince McMahon group was. Anyway, so yeah, you had a lot of that. It got stale real quick, and nobody gave a shit about everybody gave a shit about DX. Everybody gave a shit about Vince McMahon's group. Even when Vince McMahon's group branched off into the Union, which was a good babyface, like Test and Giant broke away from that babyface against the Vince McMahon deal, but nobody bought into that. Uh, do remember. So, yeah, it's usually when you have too many groups like that, I mean, I get why they do it, but sometimes it's like, hey, let's let people bring. If they're a tag team, they're a tag team. This is two of them. Let them go at it with other tag teams. If they're just a primary singles, yeah. Now maybe if you have one group here, one group there, you got some babyface guy face that group, then a few buddies at the Risky Business Boys back in the NWA they met. Anyway, continuing on here, you had Christian. Yes, that is Chris as Christian Cage. Long hair, actually, I guess managed by Gangrel, but that was part of Brood. Probably one of the greatest entrances in wrestling history. One of them. One of them. Just the music, the entrance itself, and rising from the stage and everything. Totally. Uh, but yes, he became a WWE or WWF light heavyweight champion by defeating Tachi Michinoku a while ago. Taka Michinoku is pretty freaking good. Him and Grace Sasaki had some pretty good matches. When they on their Michinoku Pro style to America, didn't quite get over as well as the Luchadors in WCW. Um, and one of my buddies, pretty much nailed it at the time. I remember him saying, they got these light heavyweights, but you know, they're wrestling like heavyweights. Uh, got stick in a little high five move here and there, but they're doing power slams, clotheslines, punches, and kicks. I don't know if that was part of it, but it just didn't quite work out. Anyway, Gold Dust. Dustin Rhodes, of course, defeated Val Venus, X Pac, and D'Lo Brown to win the WWF European Championship. Uh, the Headbangers, Moss and Thrasher beat the WWF World Tag Team Champions New Age Outlaws by disqualification. The WWF Intercontinental Champion Ken Shamrock defeated Mankind with Mick Foley by knockout. Smart Henry defeated Rocky Maivia. Of course, he was just pretty, they still kind of build him as Rocky Maivia, but it was slowly turning into The Rock. It was kick out that Y, flush down that Maivia down the toilet, and just call him The Rock. And that's when he turned heel and everything. It was definitely a star on the rise. Of course, the rest of history about that. Became a huge star in the WWF. Then decided, you know what? I'm going to make more money making movies and take less bumps. So he went into making movies. Of course, everybody knows who Dwayne Johnson is. And the main event of that pay per view. Yes, this was a pay per view at the time, not a premium live event. The Undertaker battle came to a no contest. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the special referee. Yeah, do you kind of remember that being a pretty entertaining match? Can't remember everything to it, but you put Steve Austin in anything at that time, it was going to be cool because he was going to make it entertaining, uh, make it cool to watch and everything else. And he was the man at the time. I mean, he was the top star, the top attraction. Yes, it was slowly build Rocky Maivia, and I always kind of at the time I would like say, hey, this is like a good formula. Okay, back in the day, back before a lot of us was probably born, uh, you had the regular guy, blue collar person, and Bruno Sammartino, and sometimes Lou Thesz. But you had the Nature Boy, who was, or Nature Boy Buddy Rogers at the time, blonde haired, tan, uh, probably at the time would brag about him being very rich, had a, you expensive suits at the time, kind of a lot like Ric Flair did later on. Of course, later on, we had Ric Flair, the robes, the women, the money, jet flying, limousine riding, son of a gun, kiss stealing, son of a gun, against the blue collar guy, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. True, that conglomeration right there. True nothing but money. And of course, in the '90s, that same thing pretty much in their own way, but the same mechanics really, or the same theme. Theme. There we go. Theme. You had the blue collar guy Steve Austin, blue jeans, t-shirts, bald head, drink beer, hunt, fish, and all that good stuff. Drove pickup trucks against a guy, The Rock, who wore $500 t-shirts, $1,000 breeches, and all that sort of thing. So it tells you right there. I'm not sure how well or anybody who could do it today, uh, but it's a it's a theme that has worked for decades, it's centuries by now. Well, no, because Bruno was 60, so wait, worked for decades, and it's they figure out who they can get to feel that chemistry or feel that theme again. Uh, AEW's not done it. Not they kind of got WWE. They did do the evil commissioner, evil corporation, evil Vince type deal against the lower people, but that kind of ran its course uh, because there's always a company champion, company guy. But what's relatable, of course, that's another thing that a new element that the WWF created with the Mr. McMahon versus Steve Austin feels. I'm sure we gotta put our heads together. I gotta put my head together one day. See if anybody could like build that kind of use that theme now in any promotion, whether especially I guess the big three, uh, WWE, AEW, TNA. I watch a lot of TNA, but yeah, I gotta really look at the roster and see who can really fill that theme these days. Anyway, I'm just rambling on, but yeah, this concludes today in wrestling history. Uh, next up, are we ready to do a little watch along here? Told y'all we're gonna take this thing to the extreme. Watching some ECW from 1995. So this is from June 13th, 1995. And unfortunately, I think Sabu has done gone at this point. I should like kind of sometimes that's a little bit of my fault uh, of not kind of like really looking at everything, trying to find something. But Sabu has had flashes. Let me do something. Not that. We're gonna go July 4th. This is the hardcore television program. Those dastardly emails from YouTube saying, "No, they don't say that. They pretty much translate. So here we go. Here it is. The link and send. Going to take a little pause for the calls here. So once you're ready, let me know, and I'll be right back after these messages, which is don't have any messages. Yeah, the little ticker tape messages on there. There's my social media account, so check that out. Follow me if you want to, uh, and any of my social media accounts. But yeah, I'll take a quick little pause for the calls. All right, I am back, boys and girls. Are we ready to do this? Move this over here so I can kind of look at these. All right, I'm gonna give the countdown. And five, four, three, two, one. Press play now. Joey Styles. I don't know if anybody remembers him or not, but in my opinion, Joey Styles should be where Michael Cole is right now. He should have been. I mean, when WWE bought ECW, I thought one thing they should have done was really groom Mike or Joey Styles to be the number one commentator. I think they had a plan to do it, but uh, I don't know if it's because they like to yell in his ear a lot, and he just couldn't deal with that BS, which I do understand. Uh, I could, I think I could sit there and commentate and have people in my ear, but Joey Styles should have been the next number one, play-by-play person in the WWE. Not Michael Cole. Never was a fan of Michael Cole at all. Still not a fan of Michael. So I guess we got huge, huge ECW. And the thing about it is, there was not everybody had internet. The internet was just kind of coming out. So a lot of us found out about ECW through the after magazines, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Inside Wrestling, Wrestler. Uh, sorry, I don't think. And here's the answer to the question for the chat for anybody who watches this, on the replay. Did anybody at this time get the Wrestling Observer, the Dave Meltzer thing? I know. I think 95, 96 when a magazine called New Wave magazine came out, and they kind of broke kayfabe. But I want to take this time, not to uh, um, definitely not speaking ill of the dead, but being chauvinistic towards the dead. Nancy Sullivan was freaking hot. That's all I want to say. Scorpio was a huge talent. I don't know who this jack off is. I don't think he lasted that long. And of course, this one, okay, Bill Alfonso was a longtime referee for the Florida territory, refereed a bunch of matches in NWA and WWF. So he was going to come in as a legit referee, but the ECW crowd did not care for a legit referee. And of course, he was calling this match off because Ian had a cut above his eye, so he deemed it as he couldn't see. This course supposed to be the Muay Thai death match. Uh, what was it? Bloodsport or kickboxer that I guess this kind of got famous in, where John Claude Van Damme had some kind of wrapping around his hand and put it in glued and put it in a bunch of glass and fought the final boss in the movie. Oh, look who we got here. We got Public Enemy and the Gangstas. Uh, Not sure if this is the. I'm pretty sure if it's not the first time the Gangsters appeared in ECW, it was close to our first time. And of course, Gangsters being New Jack and Mustafa Saeed. I think D'Lo done went to WWF and was basically in that same role in the Nation Domination. But and there's Todd Gordon. Todd is God. Some people, some rats, or from stories I've heard. Too Cold Scorpio told the rats to say Todd is God, and this must be the na 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 na. I can't play the music, and I think the little bit I did watch this, I think it's the legit music. Please confirm that in the chat. Uh, yeah, Public Enemy, Gangsters, a lot of good memories here. Rocco Rock, rest in peace. Johnny Gunn, rest in peace. Yes. See, I couldn't play this on the. I couldn't download it, played it. Anyway, big thanks to Extreme TV. You know they don't know it, but if you do watch this, thank you for letting me use it. Even though I'm not really using it, I just basically I'm getting used to a couple more views on this thing. At a few more. Go ahead, subscribe to it. You know this is probably not sure when was the last time we posting. Okay, so so I'll look. So of course, in case you didn't know, Ted Petty, Rocco Rock, there was a promotion up there called International Championship Wrestling, ran by Angelo Savoldi. And yes, it's the one we talked about a few times that would show the same match every episode. But he was in that promotion as the Cheetah Kid, kind of a high flyer, sort of a takeoff of uh, Tiger Mask. And please tell me this is White Zombies, Thunder Kiss 65. Raven, of course. Young Benoit, Young Malenko, Young Tommy Dreamer. And oh yes, to those Eula Pit Bulls, which we seen them on a episode of what was it, South Atlantic Championship Wrestling in their rookie years. Too Cold. Too Cold was a talented dude, and that was probably a the one other concussion for Chris Benoit. I do that match at this show with Taz, who just suplex Too Cold Scorpio. I think that's the same match where Taz broke his neck. But yeah, let me go ahead and say it again. Nancy Sullivan was a very, very attractive woman. Yes. Not to sound racist or anything, but white people can't dance as you can. Even a simple na 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 na. See, I can't do it. I'm sitting down. And, now, is this the one from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where the ring collapsed, or was they trying to get the ring collapsed This is at the arena. Let's see, I would say this would be this wasn't the send off for Public Enemy. I think Public Enemy went to WCW about around '96, I think. Because July 4th, '95, I was a month in the job I'm working at now, and it was a little less than a month. We're talking like 10 days from when I graduated. But yes, like I said, there's Joey Styles. I mean, this is he just had legitimacy to it. He knew the moves and everything, and just kind of was did his own thing. And like I said, Joey Styles should have been the main. He should be where um, Michael Cole is now. Michael Cole should have been the state of backstage interviewer or something. Sunday Night Heat, whatever. Yeah, that must have been at the arena. Oh, he is plugging the hardcore. Okay, back in the '90s, '80s, late '80s, '90s. At this point, I think every promotion had a 900 number, or there was some kind of 1-900, 909. I think 1-900, 909, 997 was the WCW. But everybody had their own 900 number hotline you call and whatever. Reason that's blurred out because Shane Douglas is wearing a WWF t-shirt. That's a WWF logo on that t-shirt. And this is, of course, years before the World Wildlife Fund, their panties in a wad and said, that's ours, we're WWF. And Vince said, fuck it, take it. We're in an entertainment business, pal. So that's how WWE became WWE. And of course, Shane Douglas would go to, spoiler alert, he would go to the WWF and become Dean Douglas. Uh, what was it, maybe a year? He was back as a franchise Shane Douglas, and Paul had a very good few years in from 90. I guess he came back in '96. Wasn't high profile enough to say he was the biggest heel in the business, but if they had like a television deal like AEW has now or WWF, WCW had, and they seen what Shane Douglas did, he would have been number one heel in the business at that time for breaking Gary Wolf's neck and taking a halo and throwing it down. That at the time controversial, whatever. Uh, and of course, some of us were like, okay, is this an angle? Is his neck really broken? But of course, his neck can't be really broken if you don't let him choke him around by a halo light. Apparently, it was. Not sure if I would have done it, but they did it, and yeah, that was a hell of an angle. And like I said, that if they had major, television, I mean, they would have had toned down a lot of stuff they were doing, but that one right there, uh, because Shane at the time got okay, he's pretty. He, he is pretty big, like regular person big. Like seeing him on the street, he was like, oh shit, he's pretty big. Uh, but he had a athletic build here. Then he got a little bit bigger at the time. So Dude did look like a star. Could talk on the mic. Of course, he liked to cuss a lot. Say shit, and all that stuff. That's kind of sort of thing that made ECW unique. And yes, was it powered by WCW and WWF? Yelp. Uh, is that Joel Gertner he's talking to, or somebody, some other Jeff? I think it's some other. Was this the last night of Shane Douglas before he went to WWF? Because granted, they would do kind of a cool thing when somebody was about to leave. Uh, they would run like a little angle where they would put over somebody else, be kind of give them that rub, be that next person. Like Too Cold Scorpio left, he put over uh, it was Rad Radford and Louis Phillips. And they kind of made an angle out of that. It's like, oh yeah, I know y'all think I want to put over some nobody here, but so I think a couple people came in, he beat them all easily. Then Louis Phillips came in and kind of like was you know make sure the other two was okay. Then he kind of teased fans and asked fans, hey, you want to put this trick over? He went up doing it. So and yes, it gets referred to now the something closed caption. Talking about how him and Kathy Jack fully trained together at Dominic Medici's uh, wrestling school. But how cool would it have been to actually go to ECW arena? I had to go in fall because I think it's one of those built. Well, I don't know. As young as I was at the time, I don't know. It was the time I graduated high school. I think we all just got very busy. Kind of jumped in. I think me and my buddies all jumped in feet first in the adulting thing, except for the whole kids and marriage thing. But we always still hung out and partied in the weekends. But we didn't get a wild card with our ass and say, hey, let's take a road trip to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And yes, some of Shane Dawson's promos will be kind of long, and especially I guess this time it's his last night. He's gonna make sure he's gonna go out the most hated person in the world in the building. yeah, I remember when he debuted as Dean Douglas. I think my first reaction was, "What is this?" I mean, legitimately, I think he was a teacher, like that. That's what he got his degree in teaching, and so they came from him as Dean Douglas. And just as should have came in as Shane Douglas, or at least kept the name. He could have been the professor, but they haven't quite. This is still the new generation era. Everybody had, you still had your Duke Controversies, you had your Atom Bombs, and Well Dones, and Cowboys, Smoking Guns, whatever. So you had to have a teacher, Dean Douglas. How about now? Is it good? I think because I'm moving a little bit, a little too much. How's it now? Does it sound good now? All right, cool. Yeah, I think that sometimes I'll move from side to side and stuff like that. Anyway, appreciate you watching Shannon Hollister. Thanks for tuning in. Are you having fun so far? Hopefully you got the link to the or watching ECW Hardcore Television from July 4th, 1995. I'll definitely give you the link if you need it. Now, work was Kevin Sullivan and Nancy Sullivan still together at this time? Were they still married at this time? I don't think anybody's really gave a definitive answer on that. I know Kevin Sullivan seemed like he had a pretty tight relationship with ECW. Therefore, that's why I guess Woman was there before she came back to, I think, WCW. Yeah, I think it was 96 as well. Yeah, because they replaced her with Missy Hyatt. Interesting enough, and interestingly enough, because there was Robin Green and Woman, or Robin Green slash Woman, who oh yeah, Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn, they had some awesome matches. I mean that pretty much put Jerry Lynn on the map. Uh, I mean that turned Jerry Lynn to like definitely a darling. Now Jerry Lynn had some good matches before that in a promotion called Global Wrestling Federation. Uh, with he was calling himself the Lightning Kid, Sean Waltman, but they had some very good matches. But yeah, the RVD Jerry Lynn matches in ECW were phenomenal. And I mean, Jerry Lynn would have lots of good matches in him after that. I mean, he had some good matches when TNA first started. Had some good matches with like Amazing Red, AJ Styles, of course. I think there was a couple good matches with him and Sonny Siaki. Him and Kid Cash had some good matches. I think in TNA, I think they had like a last man standing match with Jerry Lynn and Just Incredible. I know you can't be putting your hands on a woman. Somebody going there's a Sandman. Now Sandman, there is that a gimmick that everybody would like to have had? Uh, your gimmick is coming to the ring to a Metallica song, Enter Sandman. Smoke cigarettes and drink some beer. Yeah, Kid Cash and Jerry Lynn and TNA were very good. Um, but yeah, after this, of course, go back and Google Jerry Lynn versus 123 or Lightning Kid and Global. See, that's where I first heard of both of them. Sean Waltman and Jerry Lynn was Global. Unfortunately, I think we talked about Global last week. We're not sure they should have ran Dallas because one of the founders of Global Wrestling Federation is Joe Pensino. He is based in Georgia. So okay, this is the Gangsters had made their debut. The ECW Fan Cam. Ouch. Uh, it was the early '90s. It was on ESPN in the afternoons, but I don't think it was greatly advertised or anything like that. But yeah, I guess yeah, '90s when pretty much from the well, I guess mid to late '90s till I guess 5, 10 years ago, or when I guess whenever AEW started, before AEW started, man. Just that northeastern part of the United States, especially Pennsylvania, man, that was a hotbed of good independent wrestling. Like Ring of Honor, and they had a few come out uh, from the ashes of ECW. CCW wasn't a huge fan of CCW. And of course, the person behind that camera is Bob Einstein. And lately, his past has come to haunt him. Somebody on YouTube has really had it with a or have a big say so in Rob Feinstein. Like I says, Google it. Not going to explain it here because how I get how he got away with it, but should he have had if everybody had their T's crossed and I's dotted? But yeah, somebody's really opened up that Pandora box of Rob Feinstein's past, and I mean it's so far it's just been that one incident, but and here's Bill Alfonso. Dude, Bill, I remember meeting Bill Alfonso at a show in Duluth, Georgia. Before they built the Gwinnett Arena, they still had like a little civic center. Of course, Shannon, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But Gwinnett County was like 30 minutes north of Atlanta, and last forgot how old the building is now. They did build a Gwinnett Arena. A lot of the AEW shows, if you watch AEW, if they say they're in Atlanta, they're at the Gwinnett Arena slash Gas South Arena. But before they built that arena, they had like a little civic center, and ECW had a few shows there, and got to meet Bill Alfonso. He was running the gimmick table that sold their tapes. Trying to think which ones I bought. I think I bought Tag Wars. Tag Wars was definitely one of them, and I think it's something else from like probably like one of the first or second November to Remembers I bought from there. But he was cool with everybody. I mean, he sit there and talk to everybody, cool, laid back, and all that. Oh, yes, they is a young Stevie Richards, uh, playing the goofball lackey of Ravens. And there's the former girlfriend of Ron Gant, former Atlanta Brave, Philadelphia Philly, Ron Gant, and the current wife of Tommy Dreamer. But I will say, if anybody's listening to this is looking to be a professional wrestler, I would say listen to Stevie Richards' podcast. You might learn something. So this is again another former international championship wrestling star, former lightweight champion of the ICW for Angelo Savoldi. This is Taz, and of course he was a Tasmaniac, but it's like okay, let's change this thing up now. I want to be taken a little more seriously. Let me flush half these letters down the toilet and just call me Taz. Of course, he's going against Too Cold Scorpio. Too Cold was a heck of a talent too. But yeah, one I do remember on that ICW show they would show the match between him and Suffer Ray Odyssey, and Ray Odyssey defeated Tasmaniac for the ICW junior or light. They call it the lightweight title or something like that, or junior heavyweight. Yeah. Actually, if you do watch AEW, of course you know that Taz's son Hook wrestles now, and I would say Hook needs to get up to at least that size before you start, starts throwing people around. I know the big knock on Taz that he was short, but good God, dude is freaking. I mean, he didn't have uh, the bodybuilder physique. Dude is freaking thick, dude. Uh, Scorpio spent what, 2 or 3 years in the W or ECW. It's 95, so I think he came there about 94ish, end of 94, maybe. That's the first time I seen Scorpio. He was the mystery partner of Ron Simmons. Yeah, I think he's wrestling somebody like the Motor City Madman and the Big Cat or something like that, or some little tag team like that. Not really a big deal. And Scorpio did that, 450. And that's the first time I've seen a 450. And what's just kind of astonishing about that, Scorpio never was a small guy, or as far as everything I kind of seen him in WCW, ECW. Of course, he packed on a few pounds when he was at ECW, but uh, he was pretty built, thick, stuff like that, and he was moving around like a guy. Some of the EC or AEW guys. I wouldn't say he was doing everything like they do, but he was doing the 450s, and do have one move where it was pretty much. I don't know how you. Know if you remember Rick Martel. He kind of catapult himself over the ropes, do like what's called a swan dive splash, going over the ropes. Scorpio do that, but turn it to a 450 splash from from the apron to the ring, uh, to inside the ring, and that looked freaking cool. So, and by the way, we cannot say anything about Paul E. Dangerously there in the corner. And at this time, this was his baby, or not totally, but Todd Gordon still owned it. But Paul E. Dangerously was the creative genius of ECW. So Shannon, did you being from Northeast Pennsylvania, did you ever go to the ECW arena and check out ECW? Just mentioned a while ago that it would have been cool to take a road trip, but we just didn't ever think about, hey, let's take a road trip to Pennsylvania. Uh, took a little too much time there. Did any of these referees like when these? I guess they kind of stayed in the Northeast. Did some of them try? I know when MLW first started in Florida, Joey Styles was doing the commentary. That's when Steve Carino was there and Eric Wyndham was there. Uh, Ring of Honor was already, kind of starting up too, or had been starting up, and CM Punk was feuding with Raven in Ring of Honor. and they brought that feud down to MLW. There we go. That's one of those Taz plexes. And yes, when he was Tasmaniac in um, the ICW and ECW, of course, that's what kind of put him on the map there. He was throwing suplexes. Of course, when if you watched WCW at the time, we all seen the Steiner brothers, and they were throwing suplexes. So I always dug that move. Nobody ever uses it though. And see, this is a whole lot different. Just a fan's like reaction. This is legitimate, you know, fan reaction. How they feel about the match, how they feel about the competitors. Uh, every now and then, the Philadelphia crowd would start off with some kind of chant, different chant or something like that. But it was usually directed at someone. Oh, here comes Bill Alfonso. He's gonna ruin something. Yep. Put on the rope or outside rope. Give me my hat back. Give me my hat back. Buddy, just we've all been there. Just let it go, buddy. Eventually, I guess he sort of did, but at the time he was sporting a little ponytail there, and it was like hair here, but nothing here. Oh, there you see it. So yes, Bill Alfonso is going to be bringing you know real refereeing, some rules in, and again, a lot of the stuff I was just reading in a magazine. Did not get ECW here. Well, I guess late '95. I guess who posted this already put like a little stamp right there and say, "Hey, do not call this number." I mean, the juvenile side of myself would find it funny if you did try to call that number and see what would happen. He knew that was going to come from Shane Douglas. Yeah, I do remember a few ECW shows I did watch. They had to bring the medical staff in. The crowd would do the uh, siren sound. Whoop whoop whoop. So yeah, Todd Gorner. He's the one that owned it. It started off as I think it started off as I think they call themselves Tri-State as well. Not to be confused with the Leroy McGurk Tri-State Mid South EWF. They call themselves. I think it was just a partner there. Then everybody else kind of just altered. He's like, well, I'll just do this thing called Eastern Championship Wrestling. And at the time, it was a territory, if you want to call it, of the NWA. Of course, at this time, the NWA was like uh, Ted Turner, long gone, buried that name. Call this thing WCW. Was the NWA, um, let's don't do it. All the wrestlers back about it. Behalf of myself, I tell you, you are fired. Franchise is gone. Hit the door. Poor, poor guy. But yeah, it was Eastern Championship Wrestling until they did have a tournament for the NWA World Title, and Shane Douglas won it uh, against well, the finals was him and Two Cold Scorpio. Shane Douglas won, and that's the night he threw it down and say piss on it and held up the ECW Championship and said, "I proclaim this now, not Eastern Championship Wrestling no more, but Extreme Championship Wrestling, and this is the ECW World Heavyweight Championship or something." I can't remember word for word, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close. And this guy was, I remember this guy being really over. 911. And the only thing I know, he just liked to come in and choke slam everybody. Yeah, I mean, just everything I've seen from him is like his biggest success in ECW was getting this right here. He just was able to come in and choke slam everybody. Uh, That's it. I think he did eventually go to WCW, but WCW already got a choke slam machine and uh, the Giant, who eventually became the Big Show. But Andre's son, I still think it's the funniest thing I remember on WCW, and it involved the Giant. I guess it was it was the program was shutting down or whatever, shutting off, and the Giant had joined the NWO, and Scott Hall just looked at him and said, "Are you really Andre's kid?" Little things like that I still remember. Yeah, but basically that's what he did. He just came in and when Paul Heyman was in a little bit of a jam, or excuse me, Paul E. Dangerously was in a jam. He got on that phone, called 911. That music hit. He came and choked slammed somebody. I think they did a thing one time where the choke slam was banned, and Big Dick Dudley's choke slam, I think, one of the pit bulls, and Bill Alfonso was like, "The choke slam's back on, Daddy. The choke slam back on." Then 911's music hit, and he choke slammed. I think it was Raven and Stevie Richards, and that's when was that double tables match, I think, or double dog collar, whatever. Yeah, double dog collar match, and basically the Pit Bulls won the ECW tag team titles from Raven and Stevie Richards. I think that one. Yeah, I think that one. But yeah, like I said, a lot of fun memories. Uh, like I said, the first time I got to see ECW live in person is at the Marietta County Civic Center for WrestlePalooza. Um, a lot of people kind of dog it, but it was still a fun show. Like I said, then they did that house show in Marietta, and I think that house show was like last the last show that done in Marietta anyway. 'Cause I think I guess the arena officials was like, we're not cool with this. Uh, people, this is when the Dudley Boys was white hot in ECW, and Bubba Ray Dudley, he didn't want to get a war awards with Bubba Ray Dudley. If you're a fan, he would chew you up and spit you out. Um, he was arguing with some guy, and he has a girlfriend, I think, with him, and he said the usual stuff. If you want a real man, we'll be at this hotel, whatever. And you know, I think he turned up a notch and said, "Yeah, me and all the boys get a shot at you, whatever." And yeah, I do remember that night. Everybody's throwing bottles and everything in the ring. Um, I didn't get it too bad. I think my buddy Joe, he didn't get it too bad, but his brother Ricky, he got doused. But that's okay. He had Diet Coke and he threw it in the ring. Um, but yeah, and that was the night where Atlas Security got to see them in action, up close and personal. Uh, Big security guard kept telling this guy, "It's like, hey, dude, cross that line, quit crossing this line right here. Don't try to get out. Stay behind the barricade. Stay behind the barricade." Told him I don't know how many times he had to tell this guy to stay behind the barricade, and just enjoy the show. You can, jaw jack and all that stuff, but don't try to crawl over. Well, that dude tried to crawl over one time too many, and um, that security guard just, I think, one arm and picked him up, wham, slammed him on the ground, and that I, that guy probably didn't remember his name after that, but he kind of. he kind of laid laid in that guy a little bit. And when I mean a little bit, a lot more that put it this way, I was like, well, I'm not gonna piss that dude off. But yeah, that was a hell of a show. Um, and like I said, the most memorable part of it was the Dudleys. And it was when they had a TNN deal. They had TV taping at the Gwinnett County Civic and Cultural Center. Um, yeah, the yeah the fights that night. At least that one. I don't think there was any more fights. Anybody want to fight anybody after that dude? Slam that dude on the ground. Everybody was like, "Oh!" Everybody sobered up really quickly, especially the side we was sitting on, and we seen it up close and personal. Yeah, everybody sobered up pretty quickly. It's like, "Yeah, we're good. We're not messing around today. Not today. Not today." But remember when y'all got the satellite? Finally got to see ECW. Then it finally came on. And it was Fox Sports South. They had on like late Friday nights or Saturday nights. So that was cool. Got to record all those. So it kind of stopped. Then they got the TNN deal. And I don't know. I would say it really started kind of suffering a little bit. Started kind of going downhill a little bit when they got a TNN deal. And another thing that kind of hurt them at the time, that's the same time Rob Van Dam broke his leg. So he was out for a whole year. I think because he was their star. He was the biggest star in that company, especially at that time. Everybody was leaving the WWF, leaving to WCW. Like we talked about earlier, Public Enemy. They left. They came back for a little bit. I think one or two matches and left, and then they got beat up by APA on TV. And they kind of just found her wherever after that. I will say the one bad thing about ECW was the video game. Both ECW video games were just freaking horrible. I, okay, okay. I won't say freaking just like unplayable, horrible. It's just that's going on that acclaim engine that did the Raw and Raw is War games. But yeah, that one was yeah. Honestly, you saw it picked up Philly Station out of March. First pay per view we got was Uncensored '95, and watched ECW since. Yep. Uh, Now I don't think I did have the video copy of the first pay per view, Fairly Legal. I don't think I watched it live. I think I was having to work or something like that. Get up really early, or I forgot what. There was some reason I couldn't go, but every pay per view that followed Barely Legal, I got recorded. Like I said, they were on VHS. So unfortunately, I don't know what happened. Some of my VHS tapes, I know where they are. Some of them, I think they just got lost, or probably a ex girlfriend probably took them, hid them somewhere, and I have no idea. But still wish I had some of them. I mean, you think this, and I actually talked about this at work today. It's like, physical media. Kind of made fun of my friend, always getting physical media still, but that's kind of a joke. I mean, still, I mean, physical media, especially physical media from back then, because they want to cut stuff out because, of course, it probably has copyrighted music or something like that. And I mentioned there was some TV show in the '90s, and I don't remember what it was. And I just watched this on YouTube where they're talking about TV shows that probably will not, ever be seen again. And particularly this show, I forgot the name of it. Uh, they say you probably won't see that ever again because it's got a lot of copyrighted music on there by, uh, like hit songs and stuff like that. So just the money to get those rights back, to put them on that TV show, just to release it on streaming, probably not going to get their money's worth out of it. Um, and like I said, the one thing I hate about the WWE Network when they had ECW and all these other territories, uh, the World Championship Wrestling Saturday show, you had like Jimmy Garvin coming out as ZZ Top Shot Best Man, but and um, and the Road Warriors, of course, coming out as Iron Man, but had to replace it with some generic BS. Went on a tirade about it again last night. Probably won't do it again. But ECW, I think, was the last promotion that would use like actual. It's been kind of explained a bunch of times how he got away with it. Because remember, this was '95. Like WCW, they had stop music or an in-house person make the music. WWF had had used stop music or had Jim Johnson doing everybody's interest music. Um, so here's ECW. Here's you know the Sandman coming out to Metallica's Enter Sandman. I'm like, what the hell? And of course, I didn't really grasp or understand the whole copyright thing at the time. Like Jim Ross used to have this uh, show on the Atlanta sports station, uh, WS, I think it was WSB AM station, not the sports station, but yeah, the WSB station. Got the actual digits, but somebody had asked him, "It's like, why come you know Ricochet Steiner went from come out to Welcome to the Jungle to whatever this generic BS was?" And they said because Welcome to the Jungle basically was very expensive. So I'm like, okay, but Ted Turner, he's a freaking billionaire, and of course it's at the time, and money and staving and being cheap. Well, I mean, I understand being cheap, but still cheap. But yeah, here's ECW. They're doing it, and like a couple, like I think one of the explanations was it was actually giving them credit on the screen or something like that, on an overlay or something like that. But I don't think he did it for every one of them. And another thing, somebody kind of explains, oh, since he was playing through the PA system, uh, it was going through the PA system, so therefore they can get away with it because like the NBA games and the NFL games, if you watch an NFL game, sometimes you'll hear like "We Will Rock You" or something like that in the background, but which I don't think they can too much anymore. But I think they figured out how to silence it because I'm pretty sure Brian May and company wants their cut of the money every time it gets played. Uh, it's funny all these people like to talk about how bad greed is, and here they are. They kind of get paid for every little thing. But anyway, this does it for tonight's Wrestling Gold Friday night. It's going to be about that time. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate everybody participated in the chat. Like I said, if you watch this on replay, want to leave a comment, go right ahead. Even if it's a simple hello, I'm cool with that. Appreciate Mr. I think Mr. or Hollister. It's always a little picture. And the only reason I can say Mr. because I know a couple Shannons who are dudes. So looks like you got. I'm trying to be a little bit PC here, but appreciate Shannon Hollister for telling me my mic wasn't working too well. He's cutting on and off, but that's because sometimes I just move around too much. me sitting down sometimes or sitting down it kind of gets uncomfortable real quick. But I'm not real quick, but sometimes I have to get up. Sometimes that's where you see me moving and pushing like a not exactly like a kid in the cereal aisle because I'm not whining. Just moving a lot. Anyway, I digress. But yes, appreciate all that and appreciate any new subscribers I get. Old subscribers, appreciate you all. I would give y'all a toast again, but I'm out. And other than that, hopefully everybody has a good rest of the weekend. Be safe, take it easy, and be good. And I'm out. Yep, I'm out. See y'all.
Thank you for checking out our P2 Vision. Subscribe to our P2 Vision to watch Ronald Ray's content that covers the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. His weekly content starts off with Wrestling Trivia Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Ronald Ray asks 5 questions about the sport of professional wrestling. So tune in and have some fun. Then it's WWE Monday Night Raw recaps, where he recaps all the action from the Raw brand. Ronald Ray also does an AEW Dynamite recap show where he recaps and has fun doing it. Do you like live streams? Well, join Ronald Ray live on Spot Show Livestream, where he discusses current wrestling. Join the chat and have fun. Spot Show Livestream is on Thursday nights starting at 8 p.m. If current pro wrestling isn't your thing, like all wrestling past and present, or you're a new fan and want to hear how things were back in the day, then tune in to Wrestling Gold Friday night, where Ronald Ray discusses back in the day when wrestling was wrestling, featuring watch-alongs. That's Wrestling Gold Friday night on Fridays starting at 8 p.m.
Along from the peach state of Georgia.